Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Guillermo. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, or full playthrough, tier list ranking, whatever the case may be, randomness, feel free to send it. Either PayPal or Cash App. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. And this time, he wanted me to do a versus between these two films, Abigail and Blood Trap. But before I do that, you may be wondering what the hell are these two films. I think some people will know Abigail, because it just came out 2024. That was the film where you had 6 criminals, they kidnapped this little girl, and it's a slow burn movie where they kidnap the girl, the place shuts down, they're trapped, and they find out that the little girl is a vampire. And then pretty much they have to survive the night while dealing with this vampire. Now, Blood Trap, which came out 2015, is about 6 criminals that kidnap someone, the place shuts down, and they find out that person is a vampire, and they have to survive the night. Only instead of a little girl, it's a big girl. It's a lady. And I'm sitting there going, so wait, Blood Trap, also known as Bite, I don't call it Blood Trap. This came out 2015, almost 10 years before Abigail. I mean, 10 years to this year. It's like almost the same fucking plot. Did the people who made Abigail see Blood Trap? I mean, again, 6 criminals kidnap for ransom. The place shuts down, like locks down. They're trapped in there, and then there's a vampire. I mean, that's a pretty big fucking coincidence. You know what I mean? Someone needs to sue somebody. But I mean, when you look at within the film, they are different. They are different, but they're also trying to be horror with some kind of quirky comedy. But the general premise is the same, but the details are pretty different. But still, just kind of an interesting thing to see. Now, to not spend too long on Abigail, because I have reviewed the film. It is on the channel. I know a lot of people like Abigail. I did not care for it. I thought it was too slow of a burn. I thought the lead, Melissa Barrera, I thought she was very wooden. I thought she was very blank. I thought she was very uncharismatic. She was a block of wood to me. She was just very unconvincing. The other people, Dan Stevens, which I liked. It was cool to see him in that. One guy looked and sounded like he was on drugs, and apparently he was a druggy guy that died not too long after, and that's sad, but he definitely looked like he was on drugs in the movie. Just, he had this weird voice to him that I couldn't quite detect what the fuck he was saying. There was this sniper person, but they were useless, and then there was this girl, and then there was this like big guy. Most of them were pretty useless. It was a very slow burn. I get that the comedy is that the girl loves ballet, so when she attacks, she'll do these ballet moves. If you got a kick out of that, I'm glad. I just thought it was stupid. Very stupid. Like, there's a bit where she bites someone and can possess them, and by possessing the person, she'll do a dance move, and then the possessed body does a dance move, and kind of do like the fucking version of Thriller, where the little girl does this, so the possessed person does this, and the little girl does this, you know, doing the fucking robot or whatever, so the possessed person does the robot, and the dance. Idea, it's a girl playing with her food. You know, there are villains that will be very playful and weird, despicable manners of psychotic liberties being taken upon another person's body. I get that. You know, it just, And I know it's meant to be funny, and I just went, this is fucking stupid. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Fucking dance poses and shit. Now, to the end of Blood Trap, which I will say, and I gotta admit, Abigail I do think is a better movie than Blood Trap. So, if it did rip off Blood Trap, it did do a better job than Blood Trap. I have to be fair. Even though I did not like Abigail, because Abigail was at least a more slicker production. You tell they had a bit more budget. And when the vampire sequences happened and some of the gore stuff happened, it does look better. It does look better directed. Camera work, more of a sleek production. Well, Blood Trap definitely feels more low budget. That's not always a bad thing, except in this case, it is. So, Costas Mandylor is the star of Blood Trap. And it's one of those things where you see an event, and then the rest of it is told one giant flashback. So it's one of those scenes. 10 hours earlier, 12 hours earlier, 2 days earlier. I guess it takes the audience ADD, and they have to have something then before we ease you into the story. Well, Abigail's a slow burn, yeah, but I thought that was fucking boring. So, Costas Mandylor is ready to shoot himself, and then it cuts back to... He was like a prison guard, or... He was either the leader of the prison guards, or such. He retires. When he retires, he has to figure out what to do next, and he's with this guy, and they come up with a plan to kidnap this woman and hold her up for ransom to get millions of dollars. So they did a team of 4 other people. They did Vinnie Jones. Yes, Vinnie Jones is in this. The Juggernaut from X-Men 3. He was in tons of other stuff. And they did 2 lesbians. One who doesn't talk and one who talks but with a thick accent. So you have your 6 criminals. They're going to drug and kidnap this lady. They plan the heist. Costas and the other guy plan it while they're at a hot spring with lollipops in their mouths. So it's trying to be quirky for quirk's sake. As soon as they go in and try to kidnap the lady, the place closes down. And Vinnie Jones tries to keep it open, but he gets his fingers cut off. The guy who's planning with Costas, he just bitches the whole movie, complains and bitches and complains the whole film. Vinnie Jones is complaining about his fingers, and Costas Mandylor gets a gun and shoots him. There you go, no more pain. So they did a bait and switch on Vinnie Jones. You think he's going to be a bigger part of the film, but he's only in it for like 10 minutes and then he dies. Not even from a fucking vampire, so... If you don't care about Vinnie Jones, you're not going to matter. If you do care, he's not in the film that much. And then there were 5. Oh, I forget the other guy, because that was only 4 people. Wait. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I always said 5 people. The 6th guy is this guy who is a jackass. Is a complete jackass. Guy thinks he's tough, thinks he's manly, thinks he's the lover of all women. A tough guy jerk off. The team splits up. The girl who can't talk, which I thought that was very strange, to leave her with the person you want to ransom. Like, why you don't leave the person who can't fucking talk? Just how are they going to communicate if something's wrong? Fart? Because they can't fucking talk. When she's communicating with the woman tied up, who's supposed to be the girl for ransom, she has to write on a fucking notepad. If something goes wrong, how is she going to communicate with people? Again, is this really the person you want to stay here and watch her? A 10. If something goes wrong, what are you going to do? Use sign language, and hopefully the loudness of the skin will have people hear it to get back to where they need to go. Anyway. So, of the 5 left, the one who can't talk, she stays with the kidnappee. Costas and his Yeller. That's all he does is yell the whole movie. So I'll just call him Yeller. Old Yeller. Him and Yeller go over here. Lesbo with the thick accent and Mr. Jerkoff, they go over here. And the acting isn't that great. Costas Mandylor, I think, does fine. I do. I think he did a fine job. I'd probably say, acting-wise, I think he did better than Melissa Barrera. Melissa Barrera and Abigail, they at least tried to make it seem as if there's some kind of sympathy that you're supposed to think for her because of her kid. It's not the case with these guys. Like, there's no sympathy for any of these criminals. Granted, parties like, well, then why do I give a shit what happens to them? But that's neither here nor there. You just don't make them interesting like Reservoir Dogs, but you know, it is what it is. So what happens is the lesbian with the thick accent locks the jerk off in a freezer, and she's like, I could barely understand what the fuck she's saying, but hey, hello, do you want to get out? You better beg to get out. And the guy's in there and he sees there's dead bodies. So he's trying to tell her, she don't listen for a bit, she eventually does. They go back to tell him about the dead bodies they found. There are times they really try hard for the comedy, but I think at times it does fail. And this is the thing, it wants to be Reservoir Dogs, but then it wants to be this quirky comedy, but then it wants to be, you know, the vampire film, which I think From Dusk Till Dawn did that very well, to merge those two. And I just don't think it was successful in most of the stuff it attempted to do. I think the script was pretty weak. The acting, other than Costas Mandylor, the acting from the rest were pretty meh. Mr. Yeller was just annoying. Mr. Jerkoff was just irritating. One of the guys starts explaining the situation, and apparently the dialogue was so fucking boring, even the music raises up and blots what's coming out of his mouth. Because he starts talking, and as he's talking, it's getting quieter and quieter and quieter. And then it's just music. Like you just hear music. So even the fucking movie knows his dialogue is shit. Now, there are some weird ideas they do put into here that I kind of wish was flourished even more so. For example, they find a nursery where apparently there's like 28 babies in there, and some of the babies, they have like an IV with blood. And one of them threatens the kidnappee, tell us how to get the fuck out, we want to do something to the baby. They put the IV tube, and the baby comes and attacks the guy's neck. And it's one of those where, imagine this is the baby, oh my god, it's attacking me, and they're just holding a doll. And there's like an up close, and then all of a sudden it's on another person's neck, oh my god, get it off me, get it off, you know. So they're doing that. Now, again, this feels like something that you should be expanding this. It really doesn't, though. Mr. Yeller, who's Scottish, Mr. Scottish Yeller, the woman is begging for her drugs, and the guy is supposed to bring them back, but he smashes it. So you're trying to find out that stuff was to keep her at bay so she doesn't go all feral and crazy vampire-like. But she does. At times the camera work is very shaky. They fire them into an elevator. The lesbo who can't talk turns. Now, what's weird about this is an elevator. The other four people are in a circle and they all point their guns at the person in the middle and they fire, but they don't hit each other. Like, okay, imagine I'm here, right? A person's here, a person's here, a person's here, a person's here. If y'all are shooting, you're firing bullets. Are you thinking, well, maybe you don't know, this bullet's going to come and hit this person over here, and this bullet's going to come and hit this person over here, and this bullet's going to be shot hit over here? Now, apparently not. It's all good. And then there's the elevator goes crazy, and they're hanging off it, and you have some bad CG backdrop, and they fall. Again, this is really the low budget really is showcased. So the lesbo with the accent, she's pissed off about the lesbo who can't talk, her being turned, and they had to shoot her. So she goes back to the nursery. The vampire chick, I guess, did something to her, because the next thing you know, you see she's on the ground and in the nursery bleeding out. So there you go. And then there were 3. There's also people under the stairs. I don't mean the movie, but there's like people in the well, okay, not under the stairs, but in the tunnels. There's like these tunnels, and people are there, and I'm like, okay, are they also just part of this vampire's kids who are grown up? Are they other victims that they grabbed and turned to vampires and hid them down there? Are just part of her clan who live here in the tunnels just for of this house just for the shits and giggles? I don't think that was really that properly explained either, at least to my satisfaction. The Scottish Yeller, at one point he gets attacked, and the vampire goes up to him, and then pretty much you just see aftermath, which I thought was disappointing, because that guy was such an asshole. He was such an annoying piece of shit. You really wanted to see that character get killed grizzly on camera, and I don't think they really gave the audience that satisfaction. So all that's left is Casas Mandalore and wannabe macho jerk-off. There's a point where these vents, and they try to blow it up and burn the head vampire, but she just takes a shower and she's fine and heals. Eventually she gets the jerk off, ties him up, and then sexually assaults him. She gets on her hands and knees, goes around, and bumps her vajayjay back to his dick. There you go. Casas Mandalore, he finds a suit of armor and puts it fucking on, and he can barely move. So he finds the guy who's tied up, the wannabe macho guy. I guess by having sex, he's turned to a vampire? So he bites Casas Mandalore. Mandalore has to use a mace and hit the guy's head off. He's been bitten. He gets a gun, shoots himself. Then you cut to, I guess, because the vampire chick had sex with the guy, she was able to get pregnant, and she was with her father. And then there's this worker that's like, oh yeah, it's going to take this and this and this to get this place fixed up. And I don't know what the fuck this ending was about. I don't know what the reason this ending even exists. This ending just feels so out of the blue. They say in text, like the next day, The workers there in the bathroom playing on a guitar, singing a song. The chick is looking at him. Then she takes the guitar, hits his head. Then just keeps spatting him while the song keeps playing. Only the lyrics go, "Suck me, suck me, suck my blood. Suck me, suck me, suck my blood." I'm like, what the fuck is this ending? And she keeps punching. You hear more of a crunch and a crunch and a crunch. And I guess bash his fucking brains out, I guess. His brains out. Then it cuts to the end. I'm like, what the fuck was the point of this? Why was this ending even there? What did this ending serve? Just other than confusion. Why did you have a worker there to assess the damage if you just wanted to kill him? I guess she'd eat a snack, I guess? She was hungry? I don't fucking know. What's going to happen with all those babies? What was the deal with all those people in the tunnels? Abigail, I will say, the plot made more sense. Did you find out that these people were hired, they were there because they all fucked over the ballerina vampire's dad. So this was all a sense of revenge to get you all here, and she's gonna play with her food and take you guys apart one by one. So the plot made a little bit more sense. There wasn't as many things that were confusing. Again, the production values were a little bit more slick and better made, better directed. Same with the effects, better implemented. Yeah, so. I mean, Blood Trap might have done it first, but it did it worse. It was just poor made movie with more of a lackluster script. And yeah, I don't know. Take that for you, Will. And yeah, I would say Costas Mandalore I like more in the acting department than the lead in Abigail. That's really the only thing I could put above Abigail. Abigail, it just... Radio Silence did a better job making the film compared to... Who the hell made this movie? Blood Trap. Also known as Bite. Sorry, I gotta look up. Who the hell made this? Under IMDb is Bite. 3.8. Alberto Chiama, who wrote it. What else did he do? Killer Ton. The director of Killer Ton. Which I've heard that's a pretty damn... And he wrote that film too. I heard that was a pretty bad film. So yeah. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.